everyone, and welcome to this explainer. We all spend a ton of time using tech, but we rarely stop to actually look under the hood. Today, we're going to dive into one of the absolute most important distinctions in all of engineering: analog versus digital electronics. I mean, literally almost every electronic system out there, from the smartphone in your pocket to massive AI data centers, falls into one of these two categories. But the real magic, that happens when they team up. So let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever actually stopped to wonder how your voice turns into a text message? Just think about it for a second. Your voice is a physical, continuously changing sound wave just moving through the air. But somehow it gets transformed into perfect, rigid binary data on your phone. How exactly does this continuous, messy physical reality turn into crisp, discrete numbers and then back again? Well, that crazy transformation is the very heart of what we're looking at today. So here's our roadmap for this journey. First up, we'll look at how the real world is analog. Then we'll shift gears to the power of digital. Next, we'll cover bridging the divide, followed by real-world mixed signals, and finally, we'll wrap up with why the future is both. All right, section 1, the real world is analog. To really get analog, we've got to start with a basic truth. Nature doesn't just exist as zeros and ones. When we talk about analog electronics, we're talking about systems dealing with continuously varying signals. Picture a smooth, steady ramp. In an analog system, a signal can take literally any value within a range. The resolution is virtually infinite. There are zero fixed steps. Think about checking the temperature outside. It's not just exactly 21 degrees, right? As the sun comes up, it smoothly warms to 21.1, then 21.12, 21.123, and so on, continuing infinitely. It changes smoothly and continuously over time. That smooth ramp, that is the absolute essence of analog. And because it's continuous, analog is incredibly sensitive. And, well, it's just natural. The stuff we experience as humans every day, that's analog. Sound waves, temperature, light intensity, air pressure, even the biological signals of your own heartbeat, they all vary continuously. That's exactly why analog systems are so brilliant at natively capturing real-world phenomena. Just picture the smooth, uninterrupted sweep of an analog clock's second hand, or the continuous tracking of an ECG machine at a hospital. Analog literally speaks the language of the physical universe. Moving on to section 2, the power of digital. Now, as beautiful as that is, dealing with infinite, continuous data just isn't practical when you need heavy calculations or reliable storage. So, if analog is our smooth ramp, digital electronics is a staircase. Digital systems work with discrete values rather than continuous ones. In fact, most digital systems use only two possible states. We call them 0 and 1, often on, or low and high. In this digital world, the signal jumps strictly between rigid steps. For example, an engineer might design a circuit where 0 volts equals a binary 0 and 5 volts equals a binary 1. And here is the real genius of it. Any intermediate values, they're basically just ignored. If a signal drops to, say, 4.8 volts because of some random electrical noise, the system still confidently reads it as a binary 1. That gives digital electronics an incredible immunity to noise and errors. And it's exactly because of this simple, rigid, binary foundation that we get the astoundingly reliable operation we absolutely need for modern computing. Computers, smartphones, memory chips, CPUs, GPUs, those massive AI accelerators, they're all completely digital. By just ignoring those infinite, messy, intermediate values of the analog world, digital systems give us easy storage, reprogrammability, and the breathtaking ability to scale up from a handful of simple logic gates to supercomputers doing billions and billions of calculations every single second. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing these two paradigms go head-to-head. Signal type? Well, analog is continuous and smooth, while digital is discrete and stepped. Noise resistance, analog is lower since any interference inherently messes with that continuous wave, but digital is substantially higher because it simply rounds back to a 0 or 1. How about storage? Storing an analog signal accurately over a long time is notoriously difficult and prone to degrading, whereas digital storage is basically flawlessly easy. And processing? Analog requires super complex, specific circuitry, making it quite limited. Digital processing, on the other hand, is incredibly extensive, allowing for programmable, lightning-fast calculations. Which brings us to section 3, bridging the divide. So we have these two completely opposite worlds, right? We need a way to force them to collaborate. The first half of that bridge is the analog to digital converter, or ADC. This is an absolutely critical component that measures a continuous analog signal and translates it into discrete binary values that a computer can actually understand. I want you to really conceptualize this for a second. Without ADCs, our wildly powerful computers would be completely blind and deaf to the physical world. A digital thermometer couldn't read the actual temperature, and your phone couldn't hear your voice. The ADC is literally the gatekeeper that digitizes reality. But all that computation is completely useless if we humans can't experience the result. So we have the reverse bridge, the digital to analog converter, or DAC. This component transforms binary data back into a continuous analog signal. Every single time you listen to music through your headphones or just look at a display, DACs are working instantly behind the scenes. In fractions of a millisecond, they take the cold, rigid ones and zeros processed by your device and translate them rapidly back into the smooth sound waves and continuous light signals that our human ears and eyes can actually experience. Let's move to section 4 and see how this all builds together, real-world mixed signals. Let's look at how these concepts completely synthesize in the devices we use every single day. Take a simple smartphone photo, for instance. Step 1, real, continuous analog light enters the camera. Step 2, the image sensor captures that analog light. Step 3, here's where we cross the bridge. An ADC converts that continuous light information into rigid, discrete digital data. Step 4, now your phone's processor can easily store, edit, and compress that image digitally as just zeros and ones. And finally, step 5, when you pull up the photo to look at it, the display uses a DAC to convert that digital image right back into continuous analog light signals so your eyes can actually see it. Or consider another everyday miracle, the voice call. When you say hello, your voice creates an analog sound wave. Your phone's microphone picks that up, and an ADC instantly digitizes the signal. Now that it's digital, your phone can heavily process it, filter out background noise, and shoot that data across the world flawlessly. On the other end, the receiver's phone catches that digital data, and a DAC converts it right back into an analog sound wave that perfectly reconstructs your voice for their ear. It's this continuous to discrete to continuous journey happening in literally milliseconds. All right, our final stop, section 5. The future is both. Looking at the current landscape of electronics, we kind of need to do some myth-busting and address a few common beginner mistakes. First up is the idea that analog is somehow dead or obsolete. Absolutely no way. It is not. Every digital system still fundamentally depends on analog components to interact with the world. Second, assuming a digital system natively understands physical reality. It doesn't. It desperately needs those ADCs and sensors we just talked about. Third, believing analog and digital are competitors. They really aren't fighting for dominance. They perfectly complement one another. The reality we live in is a world of mixed signal systems. This is exactly what powers the future. Look at edge AI devices, autonomous vehicles, smart factories, robotics, medical wearables, the whole shebang. All of them rely on both technologies working together. Think about self-driving cars or advanced AI. The AI model itself trains strictly on binary digital operations, for sure. But to actually drive a car, that AI relies entirely on analog cameras, analog microphones, and analog radar sensors to get its data about the physical road. You simply cannot have advanced digital intelligence without advanced analog sensors. I want to leave you with the profound thought that perfectly summarizes this whole explainer. Digital may do the thinking, but analog is how we experience the world. The computer revolution was absolutely won by digital reliability, scalability, and memory. But the physical universe, it will always be analog. Understanding how these two distinct worlds collaborate is the key to all modern engineering. And it really begs the question, as our digital artificial intelligence becomes more and more advanced, will we eventually need to build computers that think purely in analog, just like the human brain? Think about that. If this sparked your curiosity, I invite you to continue your learning journey in our upcoming explainer on binary numbers. Thanks for hanging out.